Hi everyone, finally have a sofa! So now I can make YouTube videos sitting in my living room nice and comfy. So yeah, I thought I'd make a YouTube video because while I was unpacking I found this massive folder. Now this folder has, as you can see, all my notes from the late night diagnosis group when I got diagnosed with AS. A book saying 10 things you can do to make you feel happier straight away. It's got all my notes from when I was in therapy. It's also got all my notes from the stress management course that I went on. I thought I would go through some of the things in here, like on various videos, that I feel could be helpful to other people, and just as I'm reading them back, because I've not actually read them since I was given them, because during the time when I was going through everything, when I was like in therapy and all this stuff, I didn't want to read them. I was in quite a lot of denial and things like that, so I thought I would read through them while I'm on YouTube. Could be a bad idea, but I thought I'd give you my opinion on it. This one that I thought I would read through straight away was 10 rules for coping with panic. And then it's got things I could need to help me become calm and feel more grounded when I notice things are tense, and it's got my writing on it from when I was like, how old was I? I was like, I have no idea, I was like 17, no, 18, yeah 18 when I wrote this, so quite a few years ago. I'm pretty sure that was when I was 18. Yeah. Anyway, because I've been in therapy twice and I can't remember. It could have been when I was in therapy when I was 18, or it could have been when I was in therapy when I was like 15, 16. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So yeah, I thought I'd go through this one. 10 rules for coping with panic. Yeah, I still get panicky. I started having panic attacks when I was like 14. Now I'm 22. I still get panicky, but I've learned to control them. I hope I've learned to control them. I still get quite panicky, but I try not to show it as much. The only people that really notice it are like my fiance, who knows me like really well. He can see when I'm starting to get agitated, and he normally just either sees that I want to be left alone and leaves me alone, or he'll come and like comfort me. Either way, he does whatever he feels would be helpful. But yeah, the rule number 1 is remember panic feelings are only normal reactions that are exaggerated. Yeah, everyone gets panicky, and just some people it's more extreme than others, and that's what I learned. Speaking to my friends like over the years after I got diagnosed with panic and anxiety attacks, I found that like every single one of my friends were having the same problems, and I had absolutely no idea. So that helped me a lot. If you just speak to people and be honest, you find that a lot of them have the same problems as you. Rule number 2 is they're not harmful and nothing worse will happen. A panic and panic attacks are the most scariest things. My worst one was last year. Well, one of my worst ones, like most recently, was last year. I was like hyperventilating. I had no idea what the hell was going on. My fiance was about to call an ambulance, and I was like, you don't call an ambulance for a panic attack. It will pass eventually. It can take ages, or it can take like 5 seconds. But yeah, I've learned that you're not going to die in a panic attack, where I used to think I would. So yeah. Rule number 3 is notice what is happening in your body. Stay with the present, slow down, relax, and keep going. I normally find, for me, when I start to get panicky, I just go stop. And then I say this in my head, I go stop, Teresa, what are you doing? I'm like, calm down, just stop and breathe. And then I think, you're going into this situation, it's going to be scary, but everyone finds it scary. And I just breathe and I walk slowly, and I find that helps. Or if something's happening, I go, breathe, it's something that you can't control, but you can control your breathing, and I always think about that when I start to get panicky. Rule number 4 is thinking about what might happen is unhelpful. Think only now matters. Yeah, I always used to think that one was a bit confusing, so I'll say it again. Thinking about what might happen is unhelpful, only now matters. I always used to think, but what if this happens? But what if that happens? And I'm like, none of these things ever happened. And I'm just like, now I look back and I'm like, I am so stupid. Like, even when I was going to school, I was like, it was like, when trying to go to school sometimes, it was like feeling like someone was going to push me off the edge of a cliff. And I'm like, no one's pushing you off the edge of the cliff. Looking back now, I'm like, what really bad would have happened at school? Like, nothing that terrible happened to me. Like, I got bullied, but it was never like to the point where it was like physical. Like, it was mostly mental. But I was at a new high school and I never got bullied at my second high school, but that's when the panic attacks started. And looking back, I'm like, I should have actually like thought about all this, but I wasn't in therapy when I was at school. No one had to Scooby what was happening to me. So I was like, if I had only known back then what I know now, things would have been a lot different. But I learned eventually. It's really hard to put these into practice, and it just takes time. Rule number 5 is accept the feelings, let them run through you, and they will disappear more quickly. That's one that I really, really believe. If you start to go, oh my god, I'm having a panic attack, oh my god, the panic attack's going to last much longer if I just go, right, I'm panicking, stop, and it'll just run its course. And it's just completely normal to me now. And it doesn't affect me as much, like, I never actually think about panic attacks anymore, and I'm glad about that. Rule number 6 is monitor your level of anxiety, 10 being the worst and 0 being the least. Watch the level go down. If you actually go, like, wow, that's starting to ease off, you're like, oh, it's actually starting to ease off, and it's so much better. So yeah. Rule number 7 is stay in the situation. If you run away, avoid or escape it, it'll become more difficult in the future. That's one that I really, really think about when I'm starting to get panicky about going into a new place, or like if I'm starting a course, for example, like I'm so tense at the start, but at the end, like once at the end of the course, I'm like, I don't want to leave because I actually love it here. Whereas before I'd be like, oh, I'm tense, and I'd never go, and it'd just be absolutely terrible. Like I'd go for the first day and not go for the second, and it'd get so hard to go back that I'd just never go back. And yeah, I've missed a lot of opportunities by doing that. So I normally go, it's stressful at the start, but the stress levels will go down, and I actually enjoy it now. Rule number 8 is take a few slow, deep breaths. I do that a lot. I find breathing helps. And I remember the first time someone said, oh, just think about your breathing. I was like, I breathe all the time. Like, why do I need to monitor my breathing? But yeah, it really, really does help. And it takes a lot of time and practice. And everyone used to say that to me, and I would never listen. I'd be like, yeah, I'm doing the breathing, and yeah, I would never actually really do it. But now I actually do it. Years and years later, I find it actually does help, and I wish I'd listened. So that's one of the best advice I've been given, and I wish I'd taken notice of it. Rule number 9 is consciously relax your tense muscles. Feel yourself relaxing. I never really do that, but if it helps other people going, just relax and feeling it all drift away, I find the breathing normally does that for me. Yeah. Rule number 10 is now begin to concentrate again on what you were doing before. Always go back to what you were doing that made you panic if you can, because you'll find that the more you get used to that situation or that whatever made you panic, unless it's like something like absolutely terrible, it does go away, the panic goes away, and you get used to it. I found this. Selfsoothe. Find things that make you relax, and find things that make you happy, and like when you've been through a situation that's stressful, do something that you enjoy and that can make everything feel better, because when you've been all panicky you can feel really down and you can feel absolutely shit about yourself. So always do things that make you feel better. I've got the things that I wrote down before, and it was shopping with a friend. That always helps me relax, like going around shops with a friend. It still does. Like I went out with my friend Lisa on Friday. I hadn't seen her for nearly a year, and I felt absolutely amazing. Like once we met up, because I was laughing and I felt like me again, and I didn't feel like I felt like me over the past few weeks with moving and everything and being all stressed, and it actually really helped. So I'm going to try and see friends more and go out and things. I wrote down breathing because I thought that's what the person wanted me to write back then, but that does help me now. Music, and I wrote McFly. McFly, I've been one of the bands that I've been following since I was like 11 years old, and their music sort of makes me happy because it brings back memories and of listening to their songs when I was really down and things. So I still do that, listen to music. Watching Friends, the TV show Friends always makes me laugh, so I always watch that if I'm feeling down. Sleep. Sleep makes me feel better. It definitely does. Galaxy chocolate. I've not actually had Galaxy chocolate in ages, but that always used to make me feel better. I used to eat like 11 bars a week or so. That was absolutely terrible. Patting my dog Bellamy. I don't have my dogs at my new flat, which is really sad, but I have Hamster and I Rocket, so I could always pat her. So yeah, always find things that make you feel better and do them. Like if you've been all panicky, I find that really helps. I don't know why writing them down was helpful, but that's what the therapist told me to do. So yeah, I thought I'd go through that because I've been really panicky recently, and I thought that talking about it and going through my notes that I had from therapy would maybe help other people who panic. So if you have any questions for me about like anything to do with panic and anxiety attacks, feel free to leave me a comment in the section below, or you can go to my Facebook page, which is www.facebook.com/chattypixiebell. So that's that there. So feel free to go there and ask me any questions, or if you don't want it to be public on Facebook, you can private message me, and I'm more likely to get it there on Facebook than I am to get on YouTube. So feel free to do that, and I hope this video has been helpful to anyone out there. I just hope it's been helpful. So thanks for watching. Bye.